that's going to be about it. Favorite country?
Yeah.
Austria.
Austria.
Now, you must remember Austria.
I do.
There you go.
How were you
The
in
answers?
Austria?
What was it that I was 18 or something? What is it about Austria that you prefer over, say, France?
I guess the heritage, the Germanic heritage,
Your friend is
the
coming.
national, the people.
Well,
Yeah.
Innsbruck is very striking place to look at, with the huge mountains looming over your head.
We did a job, I think we talked about it at one point, with the Black Watch, the Scottish, famous 51st Highland Regiment from World War II fame. Everybody has to be, I think, 6'3". They wear their kilts. They do the bagpipes. They have the dagger in their sock. And they love a fight.
Well, they didn't when we were there with them as a group.
Well, you were there because we were there for that review.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we were also, later on, if I was in the group with two other people, then I would be down on the ground too.
Now, did they fight against the Americans, or did they fight against themselves, or?
Anybody that's a good punch-up, they were all for it.
Did they drink a lot?
Well, yeah, they did. They were sort of a wild group, but these were the color guards, the musicians that were in this review. This was actually for Kennedy, and Jane and I had talked about. Jane brought my mother over
and then
to the Kennedy review.
Yeah, we took her back where she belonged because my mother no longer existed.
All right, so in the Kennedy review, did you guys play a song for him or something?
Yeah, it was no big deal because they brought in units from all over Europe, I guess. We just had our own. We had our own. Jane drove up separately. Jane drove up with my mother.
Yeah.
And we stayed in a hotel. If you ask my mother which was her favorite country, she'd tell you Germany. Hands up. She loved Germany.
Well, I like Germany.
Why did she love Germany so much?
Well, she spoke a form of Pennsylvania Dutch.
I see.
And the story there was that her Dutch and their German sometimes intertwined. If it didn't, then the Pennsylvania Dutch got louder and louder and louder and louder. And we would sort of look the other way. And
I remember Ruth a little bit. I have a couple of memories of her. She died when I was pretty young, right?
Oop.
I know, it's empty this time, I promise. I was just trying to get off the wine on the side.
How old was I when
I think she was 80 when she died.
So how old would I have been?
Well, you do the math. I don't know.
How old were you? How old was she when you were born?
I really quite can't tell you when she was born. I know when her mother was born.
When you were born, though, so he can figure out how old he was when she died. So how old was she when you were born?
I don't know.
How old were you when she died?
Well, how about, do you know what year she died? Do you know what
19, I believe it was 1980. When did your mother die?
Well, I'm trying to remember, she was still
89
healthy.
or 90.
She was really healthy.
Actually, I can look up when her mother died because I have a picture of it.
It was 1990. Her mother died in 1990.
Yeah, and she was still beautiful and she could do all kind of things, but, oh my goodness, they were taking stuff away just like that. And then after that, she realized that she was going to be caught. And so she died herself. She just made up her mind.
I'm going to die today, she said. I don't want to get
Something
caught.
like that. I don't know.
Did
if
she
said
have
that.
diabetes? Didn't she have diabetes?
She,
Yeah,
she had a
she did have
stroke.
diabetes.
She died of a stroke.
She did have diabetes.
Really?
You know what? From sugar.
Yeah,
Okay.
that means I
Really?
I'm
yeah.
saying that a
I
lot.
didn't know that because I hadn't seen
She
her.
had diabetes. That's what.
Oh, I didn't know that
She
because
took
I hadn't
insulin.
been there for a
Oh.
long time.
Yeah, you did know that. She had diabetes.
And it's probably genetically linked.
Oh yeah, especially on
Okay.
my mom's side too.
I've said my preaching for the day now. That's
so
what
I
I'm
don't
at.
get it, yeah.
Don't get diabetes, Delilah. If you do, we're going to shame you.
Yeah, she'll shame herself when her feet start to.
Tingle?
But she's skinny. I don't think she's going to get diabetes.
Well, you know, actually, folks, it eventually comes around. So you
That's
know,
what makes me a little nervous, yeah.
Anyway, enough of that. But it's a good question. She died the same year as your mother, correct?
Yeah.
No. Ruth didn't
No?
die the same year as Gladys. Gladys died when I was 18. Ruth died when I was like 8.
That's about right. 10 years earlier. Okay. If you were 8,
I
then
don't know
okay,
that for
wait,
sure.
32. We would have been 40.
I just know that I was still little when she died.
If you were 8, we were 40.
And 8, I would have been in 1st or 2nd grade, right? No,
No,
3rd grade?
if you would
That
not
was in
unless you were
3rd
really
grade.
slow.
3rd grade. Okay, so look, that sounds about right. 3rd grade, I may have been 7,
Well,
but
hi,
that
Katie.
sounds about right.
Hi there, Kitty.
Your mother keeps bringing me your Sea Best.
Thank God. You're gonna need that.
What's that?
It's the test you have to pass before you can get a teaching credential in the state of California.
She keeps walking around with it. And she has, and you have to collect it sometime before it gets totally out. Your Science Award, your Arnold Schwarzenegger Sound Physical Fitness Award,
I remember that one.
your Straight A Award.
And you gotta remember that sometimes mom makes a decision that this thing that she's holding is not something she needs, at which point she'll just tear it up. So if we want to avoid that, we
Right,
gotta-
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's,
I believe you, dear.
well, okay.
Two things real quick. Number one, there are 195 countries.
So I was right there, not 200.
But I think when the last time Grandma told me, which was like 10 years ago, Grandma said that you guys have been to about 130 something countries.
If you wait another couple of minutes, there'll be 200. So, you know, I
Who
would.
would like the first cup of coffee?
Not I.
I'm working just on the IC. It's just fine.
If you're the patriarch, Dad, you get to have the first cup of coffee if you
I
want.
have my transcripts.
Would you like a cup
Do you
of
want
coffee,
me to
Jane?
take
Oh no, I've
transcripts?
had mine and
If we're ready to do business, then that would be okay.
Well, we don't have to do business. What we don't have to do any business now. I could just give you the
No,
transcript.
it's okay. I'll take it and put it out in the car so I don't forget it. Yeah, I need that. And then, do you want me to get a receipt book, Eric, or
No.
do you
No,
want-
we have one.
Okay, all right.
Cup of coffee.
I think
How'd
the
you
market
go on
was
this
up
one?
today
okay.
a little bit.
Hmm?
Huh.
Whoops, I'm
These are
spelling.